There's this saying that a lot of people think that women are better at trading in certain aspects than men so what was your risk management technique that you did employ to protect your capital throughout the challenge?
So I try use like 0.5 or 0.25% per trade. I feel like that kind of manages it a lot better than doing 1% per trade, especially with funded accounts. Because, if one trade kind of goes hugely wrong, you'd have a bit of drawdown there, be 1% down. And then, yeah, the 0.5 just helps me manage it a bit better.
What are you going to do
Yeah.
with the money? Any plans?
So I've actually,
We are live. Hello, hello, Ella. Welcome.
hi.
Thank you so much for your time today. And first of all, also congratulations, because I think you're our very first, I believe, female challenge winner. So
Oh, wow. Thank you.
little round of applause. I don't think you see a lot of females in this industry, so you can be really proud of yourself. I think it's really cool for you to, carve a path ahead for maybe other women to follow. And today we will be doing a little interview with you to understand, how you tackled maybe some setbacks. Maybe you have some secrets also for future upcoming traders or other women that want to join. So without further ado,
Yeah.
my first question for you would be, because you are one of our females, which again, there aren't many of you, as a woman, what made you start trading?
So I came across like this educational platform that like teaches you how to trade. And I've always seen people making money from like they'll post that they've got lots of fancy cars and fancy houses, and it's always like the trading side.
Mhm.
And that's kind of something that I've always wanted. So
Mhm.
yeah, I started just learning little bits and taking signals.
So you were inspired by the sense of freedom and sort of that luxury, and seeing every time when you saw somebody that was sort of inspiring, probably had something that is, admirable, you were like, hold on, okay, this comes with trading. Like, what are they doing? And then you came back to trading, and then you started to educate yourself on it. Is that correct?
Yeah, definitely. I've always wanted the freedom with it. So
Yeah.
trading's definitely something that has always come with a lot that I see. So yeah, it's
So
always
how
good.
long have you been trading for?
I've been like I'm still learning, but I've been learning since like maybe July last year. But
Oh,
I've
wow,
come
so
like a
not even that
long,
long.
yeah,
You already had your first
yeah,
payout.
yeah,
Wow, amazing. Okay. So this makes it even more interesting, probably also for our viewers, that you haven't been trading that long. You're one of the rare women in the industry. Um,
Mhm.
I don't know if you've heard this, but there's this saying that a lot of people think that women are better at trading in certain aspects than men, because sometimes it's easier for us to remove our ego and to sort
Mm,
of just, be present. And
yeah,
we're very, in our biology or psychology as women, we're very focused on finer details sometimes. So we're a little bit more maybe hesitant, but in a good way. I guess sometimes hesitation trading is quite good to be a little bit more rational. So
yeah,
even touching on this, I would love to ask you a few mindset questions, because obviously me as a mindset coach, I'm like, ooh, I
yeah.
need to ask about maybe some crucial moments in your challenge where you thought mindset right now is more important than strategy. Is there
Mhm.
anything that comes to mind, like a crucial moment during the challenge where you were like, okay, I have to stay focused and get my mindset or emotions under control?
I guess the whole time I'll have like I find I'll have my good mindset days and then I'll have my not so good mindset days. So I
Mhm.
was like in drawdown before I got my payout, and that was obviously not a good mindset day. And then the next day I was like, okay, I need to, just take it easy and
Mhm.
focus on getting like a little bit back and just being smart about it rather than thinking too rush and making like not very good trading decisions, because that hasn't helped me in the past and I've lost like money because of that. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Wow. Okay, this is interesting. So you were in drawdown before you actually won the challenge. So how did you then get back on track again and sort of pull yourself out of that bad mindset day? Because, I guess it still comes back down to strategy, but more so mindset in that case, because you are in
Yeah.
drawdown, and a lot of people would be almost falling into that trap of giving up or
Mhm.
avoidance or getting down on yourself, and that sabotages your strategy. So I think it's really inspiring to hear from you. How did you flip that around?
I kind of reflected on what I was doing, and the next day I just came back and I was like, okay, I'll do this better. I won't jump in if I don't see all of the criteria for my strategy. I'll take some profits when I think the market is reversing, so I can like lock in a little bit of profit and just slowly like build it back up.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I guess that kind of just helped me. I put in my trade, and if I had like a good amount of profit that I wanted to just lock in, I'd take it. And then obviously when gold shot up, I used that to my advantage and made majority of the money from that as well.
Mm-hmm. It sounds like you handle your emotions really well and you just approach it with rationality. And I guess one crucial element to this is also, like you said in the beginning, you've been previously facing situations like that where you were in drawdown and you maybe acted irrationally on it, or you got affected by that emotionally, which then sabotaged your outcome. And I love how you said you've previously been there. So you know that doesn't work for me. So then you implemented, 360 degrees. You were like, hold on a minute. Okay, this doesn't mean anything. Let's approach this differently, which is amazing. Like being able to learn from setbacks. In terms of setbacks, drawdown, everything, I also want to ask a little bit about your risk management
Mm.
techniques. So, what was your risk management technique that you did employ to protect your capital throughout the challenge?
So I try use like 0.5 or 0.25% per trade. I feel like that kind of manages it a lot better than doing 1% per trade, especially with funded accounts. Because,
Yeah.
if one trade kind of goes hugely wrong, you'd have a bit of drawdown there, be
Mhm.
1% down. And then, yeah, the 0.5 just helps me manage it a bit better.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So now to that point, I would like to know how you maintained so disciplined and patient, even though the market was so volatile and even though you were
Mm,
facing setbacks, because you already explained how, you were able to maintain rational rather than irrational and pull yourself out of the negative mindset. But obviously, there must be some sort of technique or maybe
mm,
practice that just installed that ultimate discipline within you. So, is there anything
yeah.
you could maybe share with our community that helped you?
Oh, that's a hard one. So I guess
Mm,
each time I obviously reflect on everything I do, and I always see everything as a learning curve and a lesson. And I don't allow the setbacks to get me down too much. I just say that tomorrow's like a new day. It's a new opportunity to just try again, give it a better go, and just do a little bit better.
mhm.
Just like improving that little bit every day is like all it really needs.
I love that. Because it's about closing the chapter, walking away from the screen and being able to just still live your life and still be happy, not negatively be affected by that. And then that
Yeah.
mindset is being like, tomorrow is a new day, tomorrow's a new chapter, fresh eyes on the screen. So that's amazing. Thank you so much. Any other question? I've got so many questions for you because I'm
Yeah.
genuinely so interested. Maybe just asking because I'm really wondering what you would either say to your younger self that was maybe looking up to people that had all the money, had the fancy cars, had all the real estate, and then you went down the path of what are they actually doing? Oh, they're trading. What would you say to your younger self? Or what would you say to someone that is just wanting to get started, especially from a female perspective, like even to another woman or inspiring other women, even watching this in our community? Is
Mm.
there any piece of advice for someone wanting to get started? Also for men, obviously, for anyone.
Mm. I guess like I've been hesitant a lot of times to start certain things, and I've always wanted like that freedom from like a young age, but I used to be very hesitant to start things. And all I'd say is just like take action and do it, because you're going to be less successful if you don't actually give it a go rather than giving it a go and failing and trying again.
Mhm.
There's no harm in trying anything out, really.
Love that. Thank you. But obviously, you've been trading since last year. So I would be
Mm.
really curious to hear how you were handling previous setbacks or even losses, because I'm assuming it
Mm.
took a little while to get consistently profitable. So, how did you pull yourself out of that? Not even so much in the challenge with drawdowns, but just having that big chunk of a loss, or how did you
Yeah.
approach that? And what piece of advice would you give other people facing big losses or even having a loss
Mm.
funded challenge?
Well, I found when I lost money on like a personal live account, I'd kind of look back over my strategy, adjust it, and then test it again on a demo while I take other people's signals. And I might take like one or two of my own trades once I feel like I've got the hang of my strategy again and I'm managing it better. And once I saw that I could do it on the demo with the strategy that I had, I was like, okay, I can use this on like a live account.
Amazing advice. Just removing the emotion and just going back testing, going back to
Yeah.
demo, realizing and just sort of reflecting like what went wrong here, what could have changed, and then refining your edge and then trying again.
Yeah.
Amazing. So now when it comes to your payout, what are you going to do
Yeah.
with the money? Any plans?
So I've actually like I've saved a bit, but I've also put it back to try like a couple more challenges. So I'm working on a 100K one at the moment.
Ooh,
Um, I'm only like a small amount in profit at the moment, but yeah, it is going well. Like I'm managing it well, so hopefully
mhm.
I'll have that one soon to add to it.
And where do you see yourself in the future in trading? Is trading something that will be full time for you? Do you currently work on something else in the background? Or where do you see yourself going with trading?
Oh, I want it to be a full-time thing. Like I just like the idea of the freedom and you can make good income and you could work from anywhere and I'm studying at uni as well, so I feel like being able to trade for me will be a bit of a relaxant rather than working, a full-time or part-time job. It'll just be
Hmm.
a lot easier to manage everything. And then once that's all done, it's just the ultimate freedom, really.
Hmm. I guess you already answered it a little bit, but I have one
Mm.
last question for you.
Yeah, it's fine.
Where does it go with trading for in the next 5 years? Is there any goals? Where do you see yourself as a person? Where do you see yourself in the industry? Is there a checklist of goals that Ella wants to achieve? Or what does your future look like for you?
Well, I want to help like more people to get into it because it's such a good skill set. Like I've already told a fair few of my friends about it and I've had my friends ask me about it and I kind of direct them in the path of who to look at and what to look at because there's so much to it. But I just see myself helping more people and living my best life really. Just
Mhm.
having fun and enjoying it all.
I love that. Thank you so much for your time. Is
That's
there
okay.
anything you would like to add or any piece of advice that you feel you have not been able to cover yet that you would love to share with our community? Or do you think we ticked everything off?
Ooh. I feel like we've gone through a lot, so I
Yes.
feel like I've said it all. Yeah.
Yes. Thank you
Yeah.
so much for your time.